When I started enjoying reading more seriously, one question kept coming back to me. Should I keep a separate reading journal? Maybe you've wondered the same thing, reading log or reading notebook, and something neat and organized. And I tried that too. But today, I want to share how I actually journal while reading. Not as a system, but as a way that fits naturally into my life. At first, I thought I needed a separate reading log notebook, so I made one. And I tried to use it. But honestly, I didn't always reach for it. When I finished reading, or when a thought came to me, I naturally opened my regular journal, not the reading log notebook. And the reading notebook stayed a little empty, and slowly I stopped using it. And I realized something about myself, that if something is not easy to access, I just don't use it, or sometimes I forget I have a reading log. What I use for journaling while reading. So now I keep just one main journal book, and I don't maintain multiple notebooks, and I don't even divide this journal book into sections either. And everything lives together in one journal, my daily life, my thoughts, and my reading. And that simplicity matters a lot to me. And for digital records, I do use Notion, but only as a book list database. So in the Notion is a place where I log basic information and reading notes. For example, the book title, author, publisher, and when I started and finished reading, and my rating. And there is an empty page for free format notes as well. I want to say this clearly here, that I don't really have a system to teach you in this video. And also, I don't have a reading log template to share either. I just have a way that feels natural to me. And I want to show you that this way is also okay. This might sound really simple, but it works for me. And if I had to describe my approach, I would say I have 3 simple anchors. They are not rules, just anchors I return to. The first is one physical journal. Everything goes here. And then second is a book and a pen nearby. And when I read, I write in the margins and underline and add letter marks or symbols or stars. And I write down my emotions or questions in the margin. And then third anchor is one digital log in Notion. Only so that I don't forget what I read, and it simply tracks my reading history. That's it. And when do I write? It really depends on what I'm reading and what kind of thoughts come up while I read. People often ask me, do you write while reading or after finishing the book? And my answer is simple, both are okay. It depends on the book, and sometimes while reading, my thoughts become very active. In those moments, I write while reading. And if a book has a lot of ideas to think about or a lot of information I want to keep, then I read and write at the same time. But the other times, I just want to stay inside the book. When a story is really interesting, then I don't want to be interrupted. So I just keep reading. I might write again something in the margins and underline a sentence or add a small notes in the book. But that's it. And sometimes after I finish a book, I flip through it again and pick a few important quotes or notes and write them in my journal, physical journal or Notion. It really depends on where I want to keep those thoughts that moment. It can be my journal or it can be on Notion. And another question is, do you summarize every chapter or only the parts you like? And again, my answer is both are okay. And sometimes I write a lot and sometimes I write almost nothing. And it depends on the book and my situation and my energy that day and then my thoughts in that moment. And reading is not homework for me, and so journaling doesn't need to be homework either. There is no rule and not like I have to do this way or that way. And I don't also put the pressure on myself to remember everything I read. And sometimes I know I have read a book, but I don't remember exactly when I read it, or even I don't remember all the story. And in that case, I just laugh at myself and move on. And because we don't have to remember everything, and if I take just one lesson or one meaningful thought from a book, I mean, that's already good enough. And this is what usually happens. So when I start a book, I record it in Notion, the book information. And when I read a book, I always keep a pen or pencil nearby. And whether I journal or not depends on the book and how I feel that day. And then after I finish reading, I update the Notion, the finished reading date and then my rating. And then sometimes I write a note in journal or Notion. And also sometimes I copy one meaningful sentence into my journal or into Notion. And sometimes I write nothing at all. I mean, I say a lot of sometimes, right? Because it really depends on book and then my thoughts and my emotions. And then at that moment, it's all different. And that's okay. I don't use strict the reading log templates. I mean, they are really beautiful and well organized, and it's great to use it. But when I see a reading log template, I find myself trying to reshape my thoughts to fit into it. And I also don't try to organize my thoughts beautifully either. So because when I write, I want to capture my raw emotions and my honest thoughts as they are. So if I organize too much, I feel like I lose something important. So I let my writing stay a little messy. But that's just how it looks in my everyday life, right? And for me, journaling is not the main character when it comes to reading. The reading is. And journaling is just there to support my reading life. So I don't read for journaling, right? Reading is the main character. But I do leave at least a small trace of my reading history in Notion so that I don't completely forget what I read. And that's enough for me. So if you are reading this way too, like really freely and imperfectly, you are doing just fine. The key is we enjoy reading and enjoy journaling in freedom. And thank you for spending your time with me. And if you enjoy reflection, reading, and journaling, I would love to see you again here at Moon Reading Room. Bye!